So I woke up this morning and conveniently cold water, nothing. Hot water, it kind of spits and sputters. So the first thing I thought, well, it's pretty cold outside. Maybe I have a frozen water line. But when I come down here, take a peek at my water pressure. Tank pressure's up around 50 or so. 48, 49. So the tank has pressure, but then I looked at this filter here, and that's pretty gross. So I'm gonna replace the filter, see if that corrects the problem. I was worried about a frozen water line, but I don't believe it is. I think just this filter is really clogged. The well has been sitting for a while, and all the sediment in the well has probably just been floating to the bottom, and then I start churning it up and sucking water out of it. It's pretty dirty in there with all the brown stuff, and then the blue stuff is me just getting too excited with some of the sealant for the threads. So, gonna change the filter. So out of my professional filing cabinet stuff, I found the manual for the filter. So reading through here, I want to turn the valve off, release pressure, and then pop one of these universal filters out and then back in. So the inlet water, might as well turn that off just in case. Then this goes up to the sink and the faucet that goes up to the filter. And then I want to turn this to off. And then it said release the pressure. So, a little bit of water. So ideally the water's off everywhere and I release the pressure. So now I should be able to unscrew this. I'm going to get a bucket to catch all the water because kind of sloppy, plus I got some of these electrical lines down here, so unscrew that. I'm going to start unscrewing this. I don't feel any pressure, so there's no pressure going to it. I start to see a little water. Oh yeah, look at that thing, look at all that dirt, all that. That's definitely what was going on with that. Delicious. I'm going to rinse all that out. There's an O-ring right there. I want to be careful not to damage, but definitely pretty nasty. Just the well, my well hasn't been used in quite a few years, so I don't want to reuse that. I'm going to put a new one in. Pretty gross, all that sediment, but that's what they're there to do. So pop in one of these filters. Should fit on the bottom pretty good, which it does. And the top, it should fit on the top in here pretty good. Ew. It fits on that pretty good. Probably gonna wipe around in there. It's pretty gross. Clean around there, and then pop the filter in. Pop it back in and see what happens. So, popping this back on, screw it on, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Yeah, there we go. Make sure the filter's kind of going in the middle in the center there. Tighten it down hand tight. Get a little snug with this guy here. Oops. Snug it up a hair, turn it back on the filter. And then I want to turn my valves back on. Got pressure. But before I turn that on, I want somewhere for the water to go, so I want to turn the valve back on. I'm just putting it on cold. Slowly turn those back on. I can already start to hear water moving. See how it's already filling up? Slowly turn this back on. So you can see I've got water pressure. There's no problem there. Just that filter was clogged. So there, it's all the way open. Oh, there we go. So just the filter was plugged a little bit and just let it run for a little bit. Starting to wonder there. Went down below and checked to see if there's any frozen water lines under the house, but for the tiny house. But hot water, cold water. Cool. Problem solved. So just that filter was clogged. A little glob of something in the bottom there. Just going to let it run for a little bit. Leave the panel off here and double check. Make sure the water line from the well to the house wasn't frozen. So I'm just letting the water run right now, and I see the pump came on and it's sending pressure, water up to the pressure tank, and it's just building pressure again. So there's no water lines. That's coming out of the wall, that's coming from the well. Goes up to the tank T, the pressure gauge, goes to the pressure tank. To that valve, shut-off valve, comes up over here to the water filter, and then comes down behind that wall and over to the sink. So that's good. Turn that off. And yep, it just turned off at about 50 psi pressure switch. So no. So there it was. There's a little setup that I got, and it was just the water filter there that was gummed up, plugged up. Just, they say every 3 to 6 months you want to change them, and it's been about 2 months. But again, the well is probably dirty, so it's just, you can see how brown it is already again. So the filter is plugged, and that's what they're there for.